Summit County embarks on the first ever study of recpath users, all inspired by e-bikes. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News. First, piles of steel and wood are all that remain of the Silverthorne Outlets Green Village on Rainbow Drive, where officials today confirm demolition will continue through September. So what will take its place? Clara Sang, Public Relations Director for the Outlets, says there is no timeline for new construction, but hints plans will likely include restaurants and waterfront residential. The property is owned by Craig Realty Group of California. It had been fenced off for more than a year before demolition began last week. Town officials confirmed that parcel is zoned for high-density residential and retail, saying our community development department is anxiously awaiting any word from Craig Realty on plans for that area. Stay tuned in coming weeks for the latest. The U.S. Forest Service is reviewing plans now for a new chairlift at Breckenridge on Peak 7, where the independent superchair is all alone and overcrowded.
You might have experienced a long lift line if you're on your way back to Peak 6 trying to head over to the rest of the mountain, because the only chair you can ride to get out of that part of the mountain is the independence chair at the bottom of Peak 7.
That was Sam Massman with the Forest Service. Breck submitted plans for the new chair this spring, and Massman says they have reviewed the site, showing minimal wetland impacts.
Some of the grading and ground disturbance associated with the terminals are laid out to try to avoid those wetlands, and the location of the bottom terminal in particular is flexed to try to minimize impact.
The resort is waiting for final approval to say if it's a 4 or 6 chair. Early plans call for uphill capacity of 2,400 skiers per hour. Sarah Lococo with the resort.
If approved, this new chairlift will give them a different area of Peak 7 that they can lap without having to go to the base, and then it helps our guests getting over to Peak 6 as well as coming back from Peak 6.
Public comments are open through August 18th through the Forest Service. The Forest Service makes a final decision this fall for tentative construction next summer. This week on the State of Summit, we look at the present and future of the Summit County recpath.
On the scale 1 to 10, it's a 10. It's like one of the best features of Summit County for us as a ski club.
That was Olaf Hedberg, head coach for the Summit Nordic Ski Club. He and his athletes spend weeks every summer training on the path using roller skis, like cross-country skis made for concrete.
We don't have to be out doing that with cars around us. Is enormous for our club.
The entire recpath system is more than 50 miles long, with routes leading to every corner of Summit and traffic counters to know how many people are there, like 30 to 40,000 people every month on the Copper to Frisco stretch.
It's definitely in the tens and tens of thousands on each individual segment.
One thing the counters do not show, how people are using the path. But a new study happening right now will change that.
But we want to kind of take those individual numbers of people we get with our counters and then maybe get some additional information from them to better understand what they feel like is happening out there.
That study was inspired by e-bikes. This is the first summer they are officially allowed on the path after some user backlash over safety and speed.
If there's a perception that certain uses are a challenge or are impacting people's experiences or safety, we want to be able to better understand that as well.
Study results should be ready by December, helping county officials manage permits like Vail Pass shuttles and future recpath expansions. Tune in again next Wednesday for a preview of the Breckenridge International Festival of the Arts with the State of Summit on Krystal 93. Local fire danger is moderate today with no fire restrictions. In sports, the Rockies lost to the Astros this afternoon 14-3. And in local sports, brought to you by Wilderness Sports in Dillon, today is race 5 of the Summit Trail Running Series with short, medium, and long courses on Flumes and Gold Run. The runners leave the start at 6 p.m. Phil Lindemann, Krystal, 93 News.